Hey guys, it's Steve here for our daily devotional. And as you can see, I'm not filming from our garden today. In fact, I've come into the church premises, to the church offices, to do a wedding, which is really, really amazing. I'd like to tell you the story. Last year, I met this young couple through one of our intro teas, our new members' evenings, and they were living together, as many young couples do. After that, we had a chat about the tremendous importance that God places on marriage and the need to have good foundations, to do things God's way so that we can expect God's blessing. What amazed me about their response is where many people could have viewed that as really awkward or got defensive. Their response was completely different. It was so sincere. They said, "Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us." And from that day, they committed to doing things differently, to follow God's pattern for their relationship. And today was the day that they got married. See, their wedding date was for the beginning of lockdown and they couldn't have their wedding then. So they decided to do just a tiny ceremony with their parents today, as we're allowed to do under level 3, and then next year have the big celebration. It was a really heartwarming moment to see them say their vows to each other with such depth, with such meaning, and knowing the sacrifices that they made to get here today. Which lines up with today's verse, which is James 3, verse 17, the verse we've been dealing with this whole week. And this verse says, the wisdom that comes from above must be, the last word in this list is the word sincere. God's wisdom must be sincere. Now, to be sincere means to be without flaw, actually without crack. That's the two Greek words that come up to make that. And God's looking for lives that don't have big cracks or gaps in them, but gaps that He's filled. And lives that aren't trying to be one thing, but are actually another. God's not looking for us to be hypocritical about our faith. He's looking for us to be real and authentic and honest. Another use of this word sincere related to clay pots. You see, on that day, unscrupulous potters would sometimes have a crack appear in their clay pots or clay jar, and they would just seal it up with beeswax and then try and sell it. But a discerning buyer knew that if he held a clay pot up to the light, the sunlight would shine through any cracks that appeared in that clay jar, in that clay pot. And in the same way, sometimes we are tempted to try and just fill up the cracks in our lives, pretend that they're not there. But every time we're held up against the light of God, His light shines through and He says, my boy, my girl, I want your faith to be sincere. I want you to mean what you say. I want you to be authentic, and I want you to be real. This is a wonderful challenge to us from this incredible verse. So my prayer for you and for myself today is that God would help us to be sincere. Trust you have a good day. God bless.